the lovely, the funny, great Lou!
Give it up, make some noise for the first ever Laughamania! Yo, thanks so much to Rowan for putting this together and for Kevin for having us. Super, super excited. Are you ready to have a great time? Oh, we need a little more enthusiasm than that. I'm going to start with you guys in the back, or this side of the room. Like, make some noise as loud as you can. Go! That's better. And now this side. Not bad, not bad. Small in number, but great in decibels. I like it, I like it. So a little bit about myself. We've got a huge lineup of awesome acts tonight. So I'm going to get through this quite quickly, but I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a Kiwi American from Hong Kong. Oh yes, Kiwis! Yeah, so I've been pretty stressed out lately. But yeah, I speak Cantonese, that's my mother tongue, and that affects, the tones affect how, the meaning of words. So when I say, okay, so in Mandarin, that only has 4 tones. When I say 小姐水饺一碗多少钱 and then I say 小姐睡觉一碗多少钱. Does that sound pretty similar to you? Yeah? Because one means, miss, how much for a bowl of dumplings? And the other means, miss, how much for you to sleep with me tonight? True story. So you've got to be super careful unless you're both hungry and horny and can kind of go either way. I mean, I'm often hungry and horny and confused about it. Who else feels like that? That guy over there, all right. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for you. Right, we've got a massive lineup. And speaking of hungry and horny, is probably the perfect segue to introduce the very, very funny Chris Martin. Give it up! Give it up, give it up, give it up! So that's you.
That was way too much. All right. Hello, thank you. What?
Now you know how women feel.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, shit. All right, yeah. This. So well, guys. What's happening? All right, yeah. Let's pretend I just came to stage. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to do the first ever set at Laughamania. Thank you very much. Give Rowan a round of applause for organising. What a guy. I'll start with a joke. Why not? First joke. I'm a lefty, guys. That's a reflection of my political views. That's a nickname women have given me on Tinder. Yucky. All right, yeah. So, man, thank you. I did that joke at a gig last week, and a woman came up to me after the joke and said, "You're too good looking to do that joke." I went, "Really? Can I have your number?" She's like, "Ew, yuck, yeah." So, it's nice. But it's nice. Here's a fun one. Like, this is a new one. I thought I'd try some new material here. I wrote a new joke. It's a little political. I don't usually do political material. Let's see what it's like. Let's do it. Vegans get a bad rap, don't they? Don't they? There's no meat or cheese on it. Who did that rap? Yuck. Yuck. What a shitty rap. All right, yeah. Good one there. Thank you very much. That's a keeper. All right. What else? Here's one. I promised myself I'd never do like a joke about Facebook, but here we are. I wrote a status recently and it had the word house in it, but I misspelled the word house and I wrote hoose like a fucking idiot. And like an hour later I realised, and I'm like, because I'm like OCD, I'm like, I've got to correct it. But it had all these likes. And because I'm a comedian, I'm like all about the popularity. I'm like, if I edit it, I don't want to lose the likes. I edited it anyway, kept all the likes. Do you know how fucking mental that is? Do you know how dangerous? Do you like literally know how insane that is? Like, I thought of this great Facebook prank you can do on everyone. Write a Facebook status that's going to get heaps of likes, like children of the future guys, like heaps of likes. When it gets to the point where you're happy with the number of likes, edit that bad boy to something terrible, like, aren't refugees the worst? And you keep all your likes. And everyone will be like, that's the worst thing you ever said. Yeah, but you're like, yeah, but why'd you like it? They're like, oh no! And here's the kicker, take a picture of them liking it and send it to their employer. Because they'll get fired. You'll get fired too, to be honest, but it's worth it for a little Facebook prank. There you go, something you can do tomorrow. Great. It's nice. What else can I talk about? Oh yeah. It's nice that you came out to some live comedy. It can be dangerous coming out to live comedy. I had an interesting experience as an audience member not too long ago. I went to the Brisbane Comedy Festival to see a show with a couple of friends, but I got there like 2 hours too early. And I was like, well, I've got to do something to kill the time. So I decided to see a show staying then and there called Class Clowns. And if you're not sure what Class Clowns is, it's basically a stand-up competition for underage children. So I bought my ticket, went in, sat down. I immediately regretted my decision. So I realised the only people that go to Class Clowns are friends and family of the children performing in Class Clowns, which meant I was the only random adult at an underage stand-up competition, and everyone knew it. Mums were like, you ever seen this man before? Did he follow us from the car park? What's his deal? Swear to God, a dad across the theatre did this at me. Felt so uncomfortable. I just sat there for an hour trying to enjoy their children's jokes too much, you know what I mean? But to make matters worse, there was like a dad like 2 seats from me during the show, and halfway he turned to me and said, who are you going for? And I didn't want to play favourite, so I actually said, I'm fond of all of them. What the fuck is wrong with me? He was like, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, that's a bit weird, yes. But I can just imagine that the children performing out the back were just like, oh, it's so amazing that our friends and family came to support us. Now, one pedophile, how nice was that guy? He laughed the most, to be honest. What a great guy. I have a girlfriend. I've been in a long-term relationship for a little while, so sorry, ladies. Yeah, that's right. There's no real, I know most things about my girlfriend. There's no real surprises, but I got this weird, I actually, last week, there was a surprise. I was like, oh, shit. So I was meeting a friend of hers that I'd never met before, but she introduced this friend to me in the weirdest way anyone's introduced anyone to anyone ever, okay? It kind of threw me for six. This was the introduction. She was like, this is my friend Emma. She wanted to be a dentist. And I was like, all right, in my head, I was like, okay, let's go down this rabbit hole. I said, hey, Emma, what do you do? And she said, I'm a dentist. What the fuck just happened? Because when you said wanted to, there's usually like a hidden undertone of like, but she didn't make it, but Emma did. She went to dentistry school, she's a dentist. So I didn't know what to say, I just stood there for a minute like this, like, and eventually I just walked away, I was talking to my girlfriend later, I'm like, why did you just say Emma was a dentist? She's like, babe, I just wanted you to know how much Emma wanted to be a dentist. I'm like, are you a psychopath? Who talks like that? Imagine the chaos in this world if people spoke like that, like a pilot. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know how much I wanted to get you to Melbourne. Why? Are we going to crash? No, we're going to make it. What the fuck is wrong with you? But I was driving home later with my girlfriend, I was thinking about it, I was like, oh man, I'm so happy that Emma actually was a dentist, because that's literally the meanest way to introduce someone who is not a dentist. It's like, oh, this is my good friend Chris, wanted to be a comedian, but he's not funny, so he isn't. Anyway, enjoy the party, yeah. I don't know, but the weirdest thing my girlfriend ever said to me, hands down, happened about 2 years ago. We were watching YouTube, and this clip came up. We weren't watching anything in particular, we were just watching random videos, and this clip came up of America's Got Talent, and this little deaf girl came to the stage, and she said, I'm going to sing a song. And for the next 2 minutes, she blew everyone out the water. Like, the whole crowd was like, whoa, like mesmerized. Simon Cowell and all the judges were like, holy shit, that was amazing. Even I, through the screen, was like, that's so cool. But I couldn't get a gauge on like what my girlfriend like felt about it. And I was like, what did you think of that? And she turned to me and she actually said, wow, it'd be so easy to kidnap a child. I was like, what the fuck did you just say to me? She's like, I don't actually want to do it. I'm like, well, that's a good start. Do you want to elaborate a bit more? She's like, because the whole stadium was mesmerized, a kidnapper on the fridge could come in, grab a child, and run off into the night before anyone found out. So that's the woman I love, yes. And the weird thing is, I found out loud that night is that I can't take her to Class Clowns. That's the big kicker there. Anyway, I think I'll leave you there. My name's been Chris Martin. Have a great night. Thank you very much. No, I don't have more time, Rowan. That's a lie.
It's 8 minutes. You got 8 minutes dead.
I don't have any more jokes to try, Rowan. Thank you very much. Love you, Chris Martin.
Chris Martin, everybody! He does not have any more jokes. I'm sorry for squirting so much hand sanitizer on you, Chris. Now you know how women feel. now, please. I drive a Hilux. Well, I used to drive a Hilux. It's an extra cab, 2.7 litre diesel, and it's got a big black long deck, so a lot of people thought I was compensating for something. And I got really sick of dudes saying, oh, speaking of Hot Wheels, hey. I got sick of dudes saying, oh, that's a nice truck, little girl, is that your boyfriend's? So I gave it a feminine name. I named it the Uterus. Friends like to borrow my uterus to move house on the weekends. And now I drive a van, and in keeping with that theme, I call it the Vangina. I mean, she's an older model, not a lot of tread left on the tires, if you know what I mean. But still a lot of room in the back, can fit a lot of people in there still. And if you wanted to take a bigger load, just connect with the tow ball. The tow ball, okay, so he's got it already, okay, sir. Nice. All right, well, for the rest of you, the tow ball is slightly above the exhaust pipe, but not like in the exhaust pipe. It's above it, a little to the left, like more over the center. No, well, yeah, well, he's getting excited right there. Are you guys catching on yet? Yeah, all the women are nodding. So like, if you're here with a lady friend and she's nodding and giggling, and you think I'm still talking about a car, you need to Google something, mate. Or maybe talk to that guy, because he definitely knows what I'm talking about. All right, speaking of Hot Wheels, one of my very good friends, the very funny Richie Goodacre, give it up! Give us a minute. Oh. He's the table one here. Alrighty.
Sup, bitches? Alright. Yeah. It's been good. Everyone have a good Christmas?
Yeah.
I'll let that, take that with a resounding ambivalence. Says, yeah, sure. Yeah, I like Christmas. It's it's obviously like a sort of season where a lot of money's spent usually. It's a season where like capitalism goes to shine. And it can be hard on families, right? So I've got a bit of a life hack for you. Like this year, if you want to save money on Christmas presents, do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's very fortunate because I didn't do this joke anyway. That's how it set was. And it would have really fucked up my set if you said no. And so what you do, right? You don't want to save money on Christmas presents this year. What you do, right, is you kill your family. Obviously, like from a moral standpoint, disgusting, deplorable, other symptoms. But from a financial point of view, wow. Yeah, just look what I'm saying, keep it in mind, don't blame me if you go to jail, company note. Anyway, cool. Well, good. I've been doing this for a while now, right? To the point where my whole social circle is just comprised of other comedians, and they're like, yuck, and so I don't really know how to relate, right? And when I'm invited to parties and stuff, remember parties anyway? When I'm invited to parties and stuff, I always just trying to join the conversation, but I'm always inevitably in conversations about cars, and I know fuck all about cars. That doesn't mean I don't pretend to know shit about cars, right? Just be like, no, let me nuzzle in on this. My mum has a car. It's blue. Look, all I'm saying is we both got stuff going on, and well, they're all at different stages of their life, right? They've got partner, kid, wife, picket fence, the whole deal. And I'm nowhere near that stage, right? So then when people are like, oh, hey, Richard, what have you been up to? I don't know, saw Wreck-It Ralph 2 on the weekend. I hear this time he breaks the internet. So, I'll just be over here for Navy. Thanks for inviting me. Don't feel like you need to invite me every time. And yeah, I realized like I could never quit this because I can never shut that comedian part of me off, right? Early last year I had surgery. I'm fine now, thanks. And I was just getting working. I just sort of recovering from getting working as aesthetic, and this other guy is getting working up for aesthetic too. Different beds, and just thought I'd point that out. And I realized like I don't have the matureness or the professionalism needed to undertake that job when I was looking at nursing. Because when that guy's awakening from anesthetic, all I would want to do is like go, you know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. That was a fucking bang on Axl Rose impression. Thank you. Where did she go? Anyway, cool. I as well as about myself, as well as anxiety and depression, also about epilepsy. People in the business call me triple threat to my own life. I had epilepsy since I was 10, right? And like when I had a seizure in class, the kids didn't know how to react, right? So I'd have a seizure, and the kids would be like, "Hey, look, guys, Richie's rapping." Yeah, that's cute, but Richie also needs an ambulance. You're gonna hurry that along. I wish I could have come up with a rap at the time to sort of just take the edge off. You know what I mean? Yo, my name's Richie. Pleased to meet you. Please help me. I'm having a seizure. Well, it's a remix of Vision. Richie needs medical supervision. And my friend in high school, right? He's not my friend anymore because of what happens next. My friend in high school, right? He goes, I'd have a seizure at lunchtime. He'd be like, stop having a seizure, Richie, you're kicking the balls. Nice guy. Assault of the earth, you would say. And then he goes, and then to his credit, I would stop. He goes, see, worked. And I'm like, think of confusing cure with paralyze of fear. I just don't want him to get his medical license right, because I don't want someone to be the guinea pig to unorthodox techniques. Oh yeah, Mrs. Johnson, it says it says here, we're going to give you another bout of chemo, and if that doesn't work, I'll fucking bash you. Anyway, I'll let you on this because I only know that one. But what's happened actually, in quarantine, right? What's happened in quarantine, right? What's happened in quarantine, right? I found out recently I'm becoming an uncle. That's pretty cool. Thanks. I had no part in making that happen, but thank you. It's very. You basically are clapping. Yeah, Mr. Fox, cool. But I realize I'm not good. I'm not good at carrying. I'm not she didn't want people to know straight away. But I'm not good at sort of. I realize I'm not good at lying, even if it's the best time to lie. Right? I sort of just walk back on it. Even when it's the best time for it, right? We were at lunch, and then she's just eyeing off the alcohol options. And I'm like, oh well, you shouldn't be. I'm like, not thinking. I'm like, you shouldn't really be. Shouldn't you be already ordering alcohol? And then my auntie's eyes light up. I'm like, because we know what you're like when you're drunk. Anyway, right, let's forget that. And then, but I couldn't leave it there. I'm like, we know what you're like when you're drunk. Well, good thing you're not going to be able to do that when you're pregnant. Oh shit. So yeah, she's not talking to me, but cool. I probably should wrap up now, considering wrap up. So I'll thank you. See ya.
Shining a flashing light at him. He really wants him to go. Alright, I'll move quickly on to our next act. He looks like a rock
here's this one. I'm just glad that I'm not doing a shift at my day job, which you gotta have if you're doing this sort of shit. Because, you know, I work at a bottle shop and I gotta pretend like people's alcoholism isn't a problem. I've gotta be like, g'day mate, how you going? And they'll be like, yeah, good thanks mate. And it's like, well, you're clearly not. It's dry July, it's Monday, and it's 8 a.m. And you've been in here 3 times already. Like, far out. And I just wonder what the customers think of me. Like, who's this long-haired git? Who's this long-haired yahoo? You know, I think they probably assume I'm a musician or a stoner. Not the case, I just want to have hair on my chest. Makes me feel very manly. Who's drinking tonight? Yeah, raise your glass, good to see. I'm having a few drinks at the bar because this is my local. I can have as many as I want actually and drive the back streets home. Did everyone manage to find a park around here? It's a bit difficult around this area, I reckon. But not for me because I found a smashed up car recently, a car that had a sign on it that said police aware. So I put it on my car and I can park wherever I want now. Serious. Like I'm in a loading zone, adjacent across a few disabled spots. So I'll make this fairly quick. Anyway, yeah, but back to the bottle shop. I feel like I just get asked so many dumb questions. You know the dumb questions I'm talking about if you work in retail. Like, do you work here when you're stocking the shelves in your uniform? Where are the rosés, even though they're the only pink ones? You know, blokes will come in and say, got any cold cases of beer, mate? What's the answer to that? The cold room. You know, just dumb questions like that. And you know, I'll get like ancient old people asking me for a recommendation on a wine. It's like, you've been roaming the earth for 50 more years than me. You should be able to recommend me a few wines off the top of your head. You know, I've only been able to legally drink for 4. I'm only 22. Like, what do you want me to tell you? This is just my day job. And people will say like, they'll say, how much is this, mate? It's like, I don't know, I'm back here writing jokes. Bring it here and I'll scan it. And then I go to scan it and it won't come up. I've got to search for it and they'll crack this stupid question. Must be free, right? No. Nothing in life is free except for the gigs that us comedians do. So enjoy. No refunds, thank you. Yeah. And yeah, I just get asked, what happened? Is my fly? Oh, sorry. I don't know why you laughed. I didn't say anything. But that's good. That's good. That means I'm on the right track. Maybe I should keep doing this. What else? Oh yeah, dumb questions. Like I've had this one guy in a balaclava asking how much I take in. Where's the cameras? Fucked if I know. I don't remember. What else? You're rude. Who's your manager? I want to speak to him. There's another classic question I'm always getting asked. Is this your music? You know, I'll play my playlist. No, it's not my music. I'm not a musician. It's AC/DC's music. That was a new bit. I'm glad that worked. What other questions do I get asked that's kind of dumb? Oh yeah, how about this one? Mate, what do you got on special? It's like, what, you want me to read the special tickets for you? Is that the answer? And the thing with special tickets is, it's a shit job. I just try and do it as quick as I can, get all the old ones up. With the new ones, I did that mistake pretty recently. I left the old special tickets up with the new special tickets. Someone had a bit of a complaint and said, look mate, all I can tell you is that the tickets are all over the shop. Bit cheesy, but still liked it, I'm glad. Cool. What else have we got here? But you know, I don't want to sound like I'm an asshole at work or anything. Like I do pride myself in customer service. I bend over backwards at work until the boss called me a weirdo and the chiropractor said it's bad for my back. So I've got to stock the shelves, you know, not like that, but forwards now. They don't like it. As well as this, what else have we got? Rock songs. Cleo wants some rock songs. Yeah, I like classic rock songs like the Beatles. I heard someone calling out help recently and I started singing along like, help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody. And he was critically injured after that, so... And you know, people say, you know, like all those old bands, that's druggo music, and You know, like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like I love the Doors, for example. Like people reckon that's one of those bands. So why did Jim Morrison of the Doors cross the road? To break on through to the other side. I got a few drug jokes to finish this off, just little short ones. Like I wrote a joke on cocaine the other night. It was a one-liner, but by the end of the night, there was a few lines. And I had to do a drug test while on an acid trip recently. No joke. But thankfully, the drug test didn't detect for LSD, right? So I passed with flying colours. All right, thank you very much. That's my time. I've been James Hanson. Any questions? I'm going to hand it back to your MC. Let's give it up for Grace. Cheers. If you want my socials, I'll give it to you. All right, cheers. Thank you.
Young people and their socials. James Hanson, everybody! Alright. Well, James works at the Bottle-O's, and our next act is a teacher, so she is no stranger to the Bottle-O. Please give us a big welcome to Colette Anderson!
Hello everyone, great to be here at the Cave-In. That sounds promising, doesn't it, hey? What's going to happen here tonight? Look at me hanging out with all the young ones, hey? Wonderful. All right, I just want to give you guys just a big old estrogen-filled hug. Except I'm not producing it anymore. Things could get a little dry. And I hope you can sort of jump on that and thought I was talking about some sort of sexual thing. I'm absolutely not at all. I mean, I understand what we have is purely platonic. According to my husband, I don't even have sex. You know, he thinks I'm frigid. And I said, well, that's not true. I said, Gary, 2 doors up, thinks I'm okay, you know? But that's just a cheap gag, as if I'd have an affair with someone called Gary, you know? That's my cousin's name. Believe me, we've got enough kissing cousins in our family to last a lifetime. But yeah, look, it is true, I am a teacher. And, it means I love hecklers, you know, just put your fucking hand up. Okay? Pretty sure everyone wants to have a go, you know? I mean, we might be Aussies, we're not hooligans, you know? It's not an English soccer match, you know? But teachers are pretty much all the same. We're caring, considerate, consultative, collaborative, congenial, and all those other C words. People often ask me, Colette, what do you like as a parent? You know, being a teacher, of course. And I say, I run a pretty tight ship at home, believe it. There's a lot of overused words in the English language, isn't there? You know, you hear them in songs. I mean, people are saying them on news reports even these days. So the other day, my son came up to me and used awesome and surreal in the one sentence. And I said, you can go and wash your fucking mouth out with soap, mate, and while you're there, clean that bong, it's filthy. Do you know what I mean? You know, nothing gets past me at my house, that's for sure. But I have this fabulous symbiotic relationship with my husband. It goes like this, no work, no sex. As you can imagine, I'm wanting to tap that ass of his as often as I can. And of course, he wants me doing a whole lot of work on the weekend, you know. And I say, how can I drink beer and watch football when I'm doing work? You know, but of course I don't mind helping out the old ball and chain now and then if you could just take that chastity belt off occasionally, you know. It's incredibly dry, that one, isn't it? Yeah. But I do like to keep things simple for him, not because he's stupid, but because he's a tradie. He's actually quite fucking stupid. He asked me the other day, he said, why are you such a bitch? Like as if he had to ask. I said, sweetheart, it's all to do with horticulture. You know, after you and the kids have sucked every ounce of life force out of me, bitch is the only thing that'll grow in that garden. Of course, I know he stopped listening at horticulture because it's got 4 syllables in it. But I do love the emotional simplicity of a long-term relationship. You know, you either love them or you want to blow their kneecaps out and watch them bleed. And of course, I like to put a slow-mo filter on that if I can. Not because I want to imagine him slowly suffering, but of course, a motivational speaker told me once that visualization was just a great way to actualize your goals. And I'm just trying to be a whole lot more positive these days. I looked in the mirror the other day with my glasses on, of course, obviously I'm getting older, it's quite apparent. And it turns out that all the lycra
Matthew.
Matthew. What about any 40s? Got any 40s? Over here? No, I got Matthew. Oh yeah, what's your name? Pardon? Gerda. Is it? With a D, Gerda. So I've got Matthew, who's a 30-something, and Gerda, who's a 40-something. So it sort of goes like this to give you a bit of an idea. Oh, look, there's Matthew. Yeah, he'll probably have a couple of anal beads in his backpack. And here comes Gerda. Yeah, she'll probably have some sort of slinky black negligee in her handbag. Oh, here comes Colette. Oh, good, she'll have a screwdriver. She can fix the loose hinge on the cupboard door, you know, and that's how fucking exciting it gets, you know. Suddenly I'm, you know, up there and now I'm here, you know. And of course the advertising and marketing gurus, they're trying to get on board and sort of upsell the 50s, you know what I mean? Make it a little bit more exciting. So, you know, I mean, I've just been going fucking crazy since I turned 50. I am taking fish oil tablets now. Because my eyeballs are drying up like a menopausal vagina. And of course, like I said, they're trying to sort of make it sexy and interesting. So now what I buy is high-strength wild fish oil. I don't know what's going to fucking happen, you know. Am I going to go grow a gill or 2, maybe shoot off a fin or something? I mean, I like the idea of meeting Poseidon, god of the sea. You know, I mean, I think that would make me technically a foreigner, and you know how sexually appealing foreigners are. But anyway, look, I think it's working because, you know, I mean, my skin has never looked so scaly, which is fantastic news. Anyway, you've been a lovely audience. My name's Colette. Quickly plug my show. February 6th, the junk bar at Ashgrove, show called Trapped. So if that's as dry as you like it, you'll get plenty of dry there. Thank you very much.
I don't know, she doesn't look trapped. I want menopause to be that fun. Sorry, I was COVID bullshit. Are you ready for the last act of the first half?
Yes.
Oh, come on, that's pathetic. Okay, the time of the room. Are you ready for the last act of the first half? Yeah. Things are gonna get spicy up in here. Please give it up for Sandy Toplani.
Give it up for Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, MCs. All right, thank you. Thank you for applauding when I came on stage. It's always good to get appreciated by white people. part of me just thinks I've made it. And then I go back home to my wife and she's like, no sex for you tonight. And I'm like, yeah, fucking reality. No, but as some of you can tell from my accent or the way I look, I'm from India. We fucking beat you yesterday. Fuck yeah! You know what I did after India won the match? I drove my car to the Gabba. Every person that I saw in Australian jersey, I just lowered my windows and I just went, ha! Just went, ha! And I'll be honest, I didn't get a lot of 5-star reviews on my Uber. Yeah. But that was fun, I'll take it. I lost my Uber license, but I'll fucking take it. I don't give a fuck. How good was the series? Like, I'm just going to talk about cricket over here for 10 minutes. I'm so fucking overjoyed by the Aussies losing. Just the little wins. Somebody else won it for us, but they're fucking taking the credit. I don't give a fuck. Now, look, I'm an immigrant over here, and as an immigrant, you realize a few things when you move to a new country. Like, I've realized that I can feed my whole family for $5 a day. Because World Vision told me that. They came knocking on my door, Michael from World Vision, right? This is his whole spiel. He's like, mate, do you drink coffee? I was like, of course, do you think I'm a lunatic? And he was like, how much money do you spend on coffee if you don't mind me asking? I was like, I do mind you asking, like that's a financial question. But for your information, I spend $5 to $10 a day. And he's like, did you know that you can feed a whole Indian family for $5 a day? To me. And I was like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been paying full price until now. Does Centrelink have a subsidy I don't know about? What the fuck? Like, am I entitled to shit? I thought that was a privilege of the white. Like, what the fuck? Now, I'll tell you a bit about myself. I recently lost my job that I stole from one of you guys. I guess karma is a bitch after all. And then I got another job because that's how jobs work. And this new job that I've got, it's a part-time job, right? I used to work full-time, I work part-time now. My wife, she still works full-time, which means she goes away every morning to work and earn for the both of us, and I just chill. Because somebody has to, right? And I've got too much time on my hands, so I've realized a few things about myself. Like, I've realized that I can forget the towel 100% of the times when I go to shower. Like, nobody gives a fuck. We don't share the house with no one. It's just us two. There's no third person in the house. If there is, they're probably a thief. And if they see this naked, they deserve it. And I get to kill them, because if anybody sees this naked, they die in the greater good of humanity. Yeah, now, like I get annoyed at things. Like, I get angry at things that I never should get angry at. Like, I hate motivational quotes now. I never used to. I was reading this one quote, it read something like, if I can do it, why can't you? I was like, because I don't fucking want to. I have no motivation. Remember, that's why I'm reading this shit. There's another quote, it goes something like, dance like nobody's watching. Why the fuck would you dance when nobody's watching? It's performance art, you need an audience for that. And the quote that I hate the most, you might have heard this in conversation, it's pretty common, right? It goes something like, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I was thinking about it and I was like, of course there's light at the end of the tunnel, it's a fucking tunnel. That's how tunnels are designed, there's light at both ends of the tunnel. And if there's no light at one of the ends of the tunnel, you're in a fucking cave. What are you doing in a cave? Get the fuck out of the cave, right? And if you're a guy who just hangs around in a cave, who needs motivation from you? And I get annoyed at things like, there's too many white people working at Guzmani Gomez. We can't have enough Mexicans in this country. People are trying to kick them out, for God's sake. Like, what's wrong with us? Like, Like, I don't believe this. There's this new Guzmani Gomez, like that open, like Guzmani Gomez, I expect better from them. Just do better, hire Indian people, get the shade right at least, right? This is new Guzmani. Yeah, that's a good one. You'll get it on your way back home, that's all right. I don't have much time here, so fucking listen. Now, there's this new Guzmani Gomez open right next door to my house. I walked across the road, like obviously that's my workout for the day. So I walked across the road, went into Guzmani Gomez. There's this white boy named Charlie working behind the counter. First of all, that's the whitest white name you can find, right? That name is so white, it's the street name for cocaine. That's how white that name is. So there's this white boy named Charlie working behind the counter. I go in, he goes, hola. I was like, fuck this. It's never gonna work. Guzmani Gomez just lost my business. I go to Zambreros now, Mexican with a mission. The mission is to get more Mexicans in. Now, look, I haven't got my residency yet. I've been here for 6 years now. They won't give me a residency because I'm not a model minority. They expect me to be a model minority, I think. Like, I do drugs, I do weed, I don't give a fuck. Like, like I'm just a normal dude. Like, I'm a shitty person, right? I don't give my seat to nobody on the bus. Like, I don't care if it's a pregnant woman, an older person, I don't give a shit. I've traveled too far to be here. Like, I'm not getting out, alright? Like, sure, you're an older lady. Like, there's this older lady walking towards me the other day, expecting me to get up on the bus because I was sitting in the priority seating area. But I just looked away. I was like, fuck this. Like, sure, you're old and you smell great, but you've only got a few days to live. And I'm the future of this country. So, I've had a long day at the beach, so I need to sit down. Fucking priorities. You're gonna get the COVID vaccine, you're gonna die anyways. It's all about surviving. Now, look, as I said, like, I'm not a model minority. Like, I'm that kind of a guy. If you're slightly racist towards Indian people and you want to change your perspective, you meet me, your perspective's not going to change. You're still going to be like 3 out of 5 stars, still racist. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I got yesterday at my Uber, 3 out of 5 stars. A lot of that, making fun of Australian people. I enjoyed every bit of it, to be honest. I can talk about the cricket. Anybody interested in cricket here? I can talk about it. Like, not yet. Of course not. Fucking lost, that's why. Now, look, what else I was going to say? Yeah. Look, I was shopping the other day. I was doing Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. I'd say Christmas Eve. It was really Boxing Day. That's Christmas for brown people. So I was shopping at DFO, right? And I was waiting, I was just waiting out. Like, I was just tired of going into the shops. It was too crowded, And there's this lady, she had a kid in a pram. And she came up to me and she handed me the pram and said, "Can you please look after my kid? I really need to go to the toilet." And before I could answer that, she just went to the toilet. And I was so scared. I thought there was a bomb in the pram. I'm usually on the other side. You don't know how serious this is, right? I've never been scared of a bomb. So the lady comes back after 5 minutes, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I've never been a parent, right? But this is bad parenting. You don't just leave your kid with any stranger that you see, right? In the shopping mall. And this lady comes back after 5 minutes and she was very thankful. She was like, "Thank you so much for looking after my baby. My bladder was bursting. I really had to go to the toilet. I had no option. I'm really thankful." And I was like, how can you leave your kid with a total stranger? I could be anybody. I could be a kidnapper. I could be a pedophile for all you know. And she gave me the worst, the weirdest reply I've ever had. She was like, "I've never heard of Indian pedophiles." And what I should have said to her was, thank you for the positive stereotype. And fucking left. Like, that's what I should have done. But what came out of my mouth was, life surprises you. Look, I know the universe put me in that position to teach that lady a lesson for her parenting skills, and I fucking did. No, look, I'll leave you with this last bit. Before I met my wife, she's a lovely Indian lady, right? I was dating exclusively white women because I wanted to get back from colonization. Why the fuck not? Be a hero while you can. Anyways, like while I was doing that, I realized something. You ladies are lovely and you're beautiful, right? But you're into some weird shit sexually. And I was on a date one time and everything was going well. We went back to her place and she started talking dirty to me. She was like, I've been a really naughty girl, what are you gonna do to me? I was like, you're white, I'm on a visa, I'm not gonna do shit. That's how this is not working. And we're getting into it, right? We're getting into it, and like she was like, I want you to tie me up and spike my ass while you fuck me. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's assault and battery, and that's grounds for deportation. If there's an immigration agent over here, I need to know. I know my rights, lady. What the fuck? That's been my time, guys. I've been Sandeep Toshani. Have a good night.
You can't send us home right now anyway, so get used to it. How are you all feeling? Yeah? Hungry and horny over there. How are you feeling?
I still feel hungry and horny.
Alright, well we can solve one of those problems because the bar's got awesome pizza, so go get yourself a drink. We're going to have a 15-minute break, be back in time. 15?
15.
15? Come back in time or Rowan will flash his instrument at you. We'll see you in 15 minutes.